Hello paddlers, welcome back to my channel. Well, the other day Patrick from Air on the Water channel had posted a video. Now somebody left him a comment asking if X amount of money was enough to get a kayak. And basically me and Patrick both agreed, yes, but you would soon outgrow it, right? At such a low cost. You're not, and when I say outgrow it, I mean if you're enjoying yourself, you're going to want to be going further and you're not going to be able to on something that's very, very cheap. Now, the strangest thing is, I actually was asked this question just about 2 weeks ago, right? And I told the person basically the same as what I said in the email, in the comment. But I thought it made me think there might be a few people out there wondering, they want to try and get into the hobby, what do they do and stuff. I posted a video in the past about things like this, but what you really want to do to get into this hobby, you've seen people kayaking, you want to have a go, right? Obviously don't rush out, spend £1,000 on on a kayak or like that, because you might hate the hobby. Right, but I would recommend you go into some sort of sports centre somewhere, whatever, some lake, where you can hire a kayak and have a go. Alright, at least then you know if you're going to enjoy it or not. Now, if you are completely unable to do that, if for some strange reason there is nowhere near you where you could hire a kayak and have a go, there are options, but you see, you have to be real careful. This is where you must be careful, because you can actually pick up a kayak for about £50 to £70, but it's more like a pull toy. You are not going to get a great paddling experience, and it could actually put you off from paddling. You get right? If you're going to do it that way, as in jump in and buy one, I've got a couple of options for you. I've made this simple. All I'm going to do is number them and leave a link in the description. Right, so you can just click on, for argument's sake, this first one, I'll put a picture up now. This first one, we're just calling it number one. And in the description, there's a link to number one. And then you can read about it and stuff like that. These first two kayaks are at the £200 price range. Now, they are not the top of the range kayaks or out like that. Alright, let's just show you number two, seeing as we said number one and two. No jokes, yeah, I know, I got it. Seeing as we're talking about a number one and a number two. Alright, I'll put both pictures up. Alright, two okay kayaks, they're both at round about the £200 price range, right? And you will get use out of them. You won't outgrow them instantly, right? You're able to spend some time on the water, you'll get the feel, and you haven't spent an absolute fortune if you hate it, right? And you'll probably be able to sell them on and get, well, you won't get the same amount of money. If you've only used it once or twice, you might get a 150, you might get 130. It's hard to tell, right? But you haven't spent an absolute fortune. But at the same time, like I say, if you only spend about £60, you're going to end up with something where you're not going to be happy at all. Right, so these two options, where I'll put the pictures up, they're about £200 each. And they're okay kayaks. You will get the feel of kayaking from them. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details, right? Link in the description, check them out yourself if you're interested, okay? Alright, I'm not going to go into details about them. Now, I've added another, these are inflatables by the way at the moment. I have added a hard shell. Now, I have added an extra one in there, the Itoit X100 Plus, right, which is a bloody good kayak. However, you've just jumped up to £400 now. Alright? But it is a good little inflatable kayak. Well, it's not exactly little, you can fit 2 people in them. But it's a good kayak, and you're able to travel further. You'll get more usage out of it if you, of course you know what I mean. So we'll call that number 3. I'll put a picture of that up as well. We'll call that one number 3. Link in the description to number 3. Check it out yourself. But like I said, now you've just doubled your cost to £400. But you will get you'll get more use out of it, for want of a better word. More distance, more use. Can't get my words out. Right, whereas the first 2 are okay kayaks, you're able to get on the water, paddle about a bit, but you'll know straight away, you'll think to yourself, well, I won't want to go a really, really long way in one of these. Right. But this third one, right, number 3, right, you will get more use out of it. But like I say, you've just doubled your price. You've just jumped up to £400. Now, if you're after a hard shell kayak, I had to do a bit of research on this one actually, right, because I didn't want to put something up that I wasn't sure about. But after a bit of research, we'll call this hard shell kayak number 4. Right, well, this one you actually get a paddle and a spray skate with it, so that's pretty good. It seems to be an offer on at Decathlon, so you might not always get the paddle and the spray skate, but at the moment you can. And it's actually the same price as the last one. It's £400, exactly the same price. But that one was a hard shell. So if you was planning on getting a starter kayak but you wanted a hard shell, there you go. I thought I would add that one in as well. But just remember 2 things. If you can, right, go on the water somewhere, hire a kayak, try it. Because you might not like it. You will. But you might not like it, right? You might not like it. There's always that chance where you think, oh, I don't like this. And I think personally, a lot of the time, like 99.9% of the time, when that happens, it's because somebody's tried kayaking in an extremely cheap, flimsy kayak, right, where it's completely bananaed, right, your bum's down there, your arms are up here trying to reach the water, and you've had a horrible time of it because you've basically been in a pool toy. Whereas with this selection of kayaks I've showed you, you will get more of a kayaking feel. Right, especially with the last 2, the more expensive ones. Although, as I said, them first 2, right, the cheaper ones, what, £200 ain't cheap, but the cheaper ones, right, they're okay kayaks, and you'll get a good feel for being on the water with them. And if you might only be planning on going out once a month or something like that, or only in spring or only in summer, just every now and again, then they'd probably last you years. You get me? Now, if you're planning on progressing, right, this is why I said about trying it first. Because let's say if you're lucky enough to have somewhere not too far away where you can go and hire a kayak and you go paddling and you've been a few times and you love it, you want one. That's when you could save your money up a little bit to get a more decent one, so that when you do finally get on the water, right, if you're going inflatable side, I would say the X500 inflatable, right, and on the hard shell side, you've got a lot of choices, right? But yeah, so if you've tried it a lot and now you really want to buy one, save your money a little bit, spend a little bit more, right? And yeah, so there you go. But if you can try it first, right? Hire a kayak. Now, if you can't, right, and you definitely want to give it a go, there's your options. There are others, don't get me wrong. These first two cheaper ones I've showed you, right, they're not the only two cheap kayaks on the planet where you'd have fun paddling them. No, it's just that I couldn't put a list of, say, 30 or 40 bloody kayaks up. So basically, I just picked two that I know. Right? So that's that. But yeah, so if you're determined to buy one because there's nowhere where you can actually go have a go, try the cheaper ones. But if you decide, you see, you could click on one of them, have a look through the list, because obviously you're going over to a web page where they're selling kayaks. They're from Decathlon actually. And they've got hundreds of kayaks. You might see something different or not like that. But Decathlon don't sell any, they're about the cheapest Decathlon sell actually. But just remember, if you go onto Amazon and you see a really nice looking kayak and it's about £75, you're not gonna, you're gonna outgrow it within a day. Right? If you get on the water with that kayak and you think, oh, I like this, by the end of the day, you're going to want to buy something else. So you've really just wasted your money. Whereas one of these things, these £200 ones, if you really love it, yeah, you might want to go out and get something bigger straight away or something better. But at least that particular kayak you've got, you'll still able to use. You'll get usage out of it. You'll be able to use it. I hope I've explained that properly, and I've tried to keep it because I'm trying to do this for brand new paddlers. That's why I said we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you look in the description, click on the link, and they're not affiliate links. I don't get paid or out like that, right? But then that way you can read all about it yourself rather than me chucking information at you. So there you go then, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, this all came about while I was asked. And then, like I said, somebody had asked or left a comment on Patrick's video. Check that out. Check his channel out. Air Underwater, Patrick. But and actually, he also covers a lot of information about kayaks and stuff. And you'll get a lot of information over there. So if you are new, right, definitely, I'll leave a link to his channel, Air on the Water. It's in the description, okay? Right then, I will leave it there then, paddlers. And yeah, if you are new and you've got any questions, no problem. Just leave us a comment, I'll be happy to help. Even if you think it's a silly question, right, no such thing. If you're new and you don't understand, right, or even if you're not new, right, you might have been paddling a year, you get me, and you're thinking, oh, I want to upgrade this or upgrade that or change this, or now I want to paddle in winter, what should I buy? Oh, I may as well give you a warning as well. For brand new paddlers, this is a warning. If you do love this hobby, it can become a money pit. You always want the latest paddle, you always want the latest gear, you always want a new PDF, as in a life jacket, you want this, you want that, you want a different kayak. You can spend, there's an old joke about restaurants in there. How do I make £1 million? No, how do I make £500,000? That was it. How do I make £500,000? Well, start with 1 million and open a restaurant. That was it. Yeah. Well, it's similar thing with kayaking. All right. You will see your bank balance go down if you really get into it, because you'll think, oh, I want that, and I want that, and all the new boots are out, all the new jackets out, and it can be a money pit. You have to pull the reins in and stop yourself. Right, believe me, I know. I've had to slap myself once or twice and say, you don't need any more bloody life jackets. Stop at 120. Slight exaggeration there, even though I've just got a new one. Yeah, anyway, so I just thought I'd warn you about that one. Okay then, paddlers, I will leave it there and simply say thanks for watching. Hope this helps. And yeah, cheers.